JM Race Engines is a new business in north central Missouri that have you covered from top to bottom for all your engine needs. Purpose-built engines with the correct amount of clearance will get you to the end of any show, whether it's your local shows or on the national level, where you can't be let down by your equipment. With top-level professional machine work to all engines, your choice of build is totally up to you. JM Race Engines will give you the confidence to push your equipment to the max while giving you your preferred horsepower to boot. From LS builds all the way to your exotic level small blocks that your imagination can only dream of, they have you covered.
But it doesn't stop there. They are also a speed shop that carries a variety of heads, carburetors, intakes, plug wires, helmets, and other safety equipment, and the best VP fuel on the market today to take you to the top. So if you're wanting mild build to wild build, let JM Race Engines help take you there. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. Where we at?
Iowa.
God's country.
Long fucking ways from the house is what it is. We are at Rob Baker with R&R Promotions. We are all about Border Wars 2025. Border Wars youth car that we're looking at for 2025 as well.
Everybody was asking us, when are we going to talk about Border Wars? We said we had a surprise.
Now.
Any and all questions will be answered.
Rob, what is up, man?
Beautiful day. I'm glad you guys made the drive up here. Appreciate you picking up some parts on the way.
Just wish we had one more other part on the way.
Yeah. Nice heartbeat would be great right now.
He listens, so we'll give him shit throughout this episode.
We could have saved him a drive.
Well, let's talk about this youth car. Let's jump in on that. I mean, it's sitting right in front of us. Let's talk about it.
Youth raffle car.
Yep. This is an opportunity that we've been working towards for our Border War system. We started this full-size class, and everybody told me when we first started the youth full-size, no way that's going to work. Nope. Everybody does compacts. And I said, well, I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting two people, including myself, in a compact. And 90% of the people that I know that have kids don't have compact stuff.
Mm-hmm. No,
so
absolutely not.
Nothing against youth compacts, because that style is working great too.
But definitely something against compacts.
Well, I'm going to stay impartial on that one. I'll just let you take the blame, okay? So we just kind of started BSing a little bit, talked to my guys a little bit, and then I just started reaching out to different full-size guys with kids, driver-wise, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'd try that. And we thought, well, what the hell, let's try it. So we did last year, and we had 22 of them show up. It was an awesome show. Them kids, you could tell who had dad's motor.
The winner.
Yeah, well, there were some Minnesota ones that came down going blah, 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 with a good old turnout,
Yeah.
But it was just, to me, that brought back memories of derbying, because them kids got out and were smiling. I heard some of them talking like, man, did you see what you did to my car? Mm-hmm. Well, look what you did to my car. Not what we normally see as you son of a and that brought back a lot of memories like, okay, if we can keep this, hopefully, type of attitude, but the drivers that are currently on the track, us older guys, we have to hold ourselves accountable too. Mm-hmm. So we got to keep that going to where the kids can't see what that bad mouth. And
I love the signs that we've been seeing on Facebook and social media and stuff, that says, before you act up, remember.
Correct.
That the little eyes and the ears are watching you, because we've talked about it before. You see these kids with their parents walking through the pits, and they're oohing and ahhing over these cars, and they've got their favorite drivers, just like, you see full-grown adults that do with wrestlers or
football players, race car drivers.
Yes. And
cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
But we talk about this youth stuff so much because it is where this sport, that's the only way to keep the sport going, is we've got to bring them up into it. Well, you want to talk about something surreal. We walked in here, and there's a mountain of parts.
Mountain
that have been
of
donated
parts
for this car.
From all over the country.
Yeah. I originally, so for this car, after last year, the response we had, I reached out to some promoters, and I had a few jump on board with us, and we did some qualifiers last summer for Border War this year. I wanted to test the waters to see how that would work. And we had quite a few that qualified. Quite a few of them did get in, so that qualification gave them the first chance to get in, and then we opened up for the rest to fill. Right now, we're sitting at 34 registered youth drivers. We have one youth car that probably is not going to make it. His name is escaping my memory right at the moment, but he's out of Texas. The dad sent me a message saying that he ruined his motor. It might have been 2 weeks ago now. I personally offered him, if he wanted to meet, to pull one of mine and give it to him to run this youth car. Whether or not he does it, but they need a motor. They got the car done. But they're coming all the way from Texas up here. And if he listens to your podcast, my offer's still good. I got a brand new motor sitting here. Come get it. Come run it. Got a low cradle on it. Come run it. But anyway, we decided, there's youth nationals. We know about it out there. And I had a qualifying spot from Border War last year. And Daxon had won it, Jeremy Blake's boy. And Jeremy Blake had called, and I kind of explained him the rule differences. And he goes, "Oh, that's harder than what I'm running for Weld." I said, "Yeah, and they're a stock class."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That doesn't work for me." And I said, It doesn't. I said, "But I did want to honor that spot." So as the summer went, we talked and we said, "All right, we want to try to build something ourselves here in the Midwest. Not trying to take away from them out there, but our build out here is different than what they are."
Yes.
And
it's not just the name.
It's not honestly just in the Midwest that it's different. You go out east and it's way different out there.
And then out west
out west. I mean,
yeah,
from east to west, like there's a huge difference. Like because you get out California way,
and they're like bone stock.
Bone.
It's we always say it starts east and works its way back to the west. It's always stuff just flows that way. I mean, just like us here in the Midwest, we were stock for a while. We went a little bit more. Then we just went stupid. And then we went back down a little bit, and now there's some that are still trying to be stupid.
Yep.
But if you look at the average, I mean, it seems like we are the mid-grade to lesser build. Because then, this is crazy to say, this is my 26th year of R&R.
How much?
26 years.
Kind of throwing out his age there, ain't he?
You can leave now.
You're not hard. I don't even think you're older than me.
I am 52.
Son of a bitch, he is. He's 3 years older than me.
Yeah, I am 52, which makes me happy when people are like, "You're how old?" So I'm like, all right, I don't look so bad then.
Well, the thing is that you're still doing it at 52. Not very many guys want to promote and run and build at that age.
Because I'm an asshole. That's what everybody tells me.
I mean, we've heard that before.
I mean, it's Rob's. Old Gumby come out to Border War and he introduced himself, which I kind of heard of the guy. We had a nice talk and stuff, and then after the derby and he goes, "Yep, people are right about you, Rob." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "You're aware of the highway." I went, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" He goes, "You just means you're straight to it." And I'm like, "You gotta be, whether they like you or not. You just gotta be. I can be the same dick to everyone. I don't care who you are. I'm the same to everyone. As long as you want to be cordial, I'll sit down and have a beer with you too."
Well, and honestly, with our experience in promoting and stuff, that's the way you've got to be.
You got to be a dick.
You got to have really thick skin.
But you kind of have to be a respectable dick at the same time.
100%.
Yeah.
You do not. I'm telling you that right now. You do not. I used to try to be the happy-go-lucky guy, but when you have guys that bring a set of rules and read you a line of your rules and tell you how that what you just wrote does not mean that. It means this, this, and this. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because too many people go, "Oh, yeah, I guess maybe you are right." And guess what? That little crack just went the door wide open.
Well,
and it continues more and more, and you can't do that.
I've compared this several times. I said that arguing with Demolition Derby car builders is like arguing with a child. because I will say something because my kids do it. My 5-year-old, I'll say something. She'll be like, "No, that's not right." I'm like, I don't know how you can ask me a question and then tell me
I'm wrong.
that my answer is wrong.
Yeah. My son does the same thing. No, you're wrong, Dad. That's not how it's, what Google told me, Dad. Okay.
Google.
Or Alexa or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Well, he's talking about tech and rules and stuff. You said you had a couple questions on the way up here. Let's talk about
so in our position, we get asked a lot of stuff, and kind of people will, if we go to certain shows, people will kind of ask. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to bring it out.
Without us overstepping bounds,
correct.
It's hard for us to answer for somebody.
Yes.
Yep.
So on your tech side,
yep.
I knew we talked last year, and you had kind of backed down a little bit on the tech side and used more of your team.
Yep.
You had some Hoffmeisters that took a lot of stuff over.
We've had a lot of people have joined with me the last few years at county fairs, and just like anything, it's a job performance. You see how they act, how they handle controversy, and their knowledge. Not taking away anyone that's listening, but every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to help. Mm-hmm. The problem is the experience level. And maybe I'm wrong on some of them, so I do let them help to see. And I'm not saying I know everything about every car, but I know a lot. Mm-hmm. And the guys that come, I try and just kind of weed them out. And I'm like, okay, what is good, what isn't? And then I learn them, just like if you guys came. You might know Mopars really well, but you ain't shit on a GM. Mm-hmm. Okay? Guess what? I'm going to put him on that car doing that section with a different crew, and then if another car comes in, it comes to me or whatever. But so I kind of weeded through. But so like this year, Timmy Lang, my mods, full size mods at my county fairs, we kind of slack at looking at them because it boils down to who keeps steering, keep it cool.
Correct.
But last summer, of all the years, was the first time I ever had anybody complain at mod guys complaining I need a set of rules. So Timmy took over the reins. He wrote a brand new set of mod rules for us. He is the head tech and the only one that anyone calls now for that. The Hoffmeisters, Jesse and Matt, they've been 5 years now. Last year was their first big show to tech-wise. Driver-wise, yes, all over the place.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience for them. I had a few other new guys come in. But our tech this year or last year was they had these guys and I trusted them and they wanted to run things a certain way, which worked out for me because there's so much stuff going on that I had to go get taken care of. So that kind of went, but that was really, really hard for this guy when you're called on me not to be there.
Yeah.
And it worked, but we have a whole different system for this year.
Okay. Because one thing that we were kind of got asked was, what do you guys think about the full retech? So I was like, well, I'll just ask. So, most guys, I'm going to say right now, Border Wars is a national level show. Anytime
I look at it as a big county fair, to be honest. That's how I look at it. It's a big county fair.
Yeah, I mean, same way as destructive behavior, I guess. But when there's pay-per-view and stuff there, that kind of gets you to that upper echelon type of show. So what meaning was, guys come through, they get a cut list and a tech sheet, and they do all that, and they come back, and they'd cut, and they'd go back through, and they were getting retech fully.
Yeah.
What is kind of your mindset behind that?
That's always been my policy because you've had that car 2, 4, 6, 8 hours out there.
What could you have done in that 2, 4, 6, 8 hours?
What would you do? What would I do? If I know they're just going to look at this sheet, okay, they're not going to be looking at this area.
You want me to say it now?
That's what we talked about.
Any derby driver that is thinking about things, not all, because a lot of us are very honest people, but you have that 1 or 10 or whatever number it is that, well, shit, they're only going to look at my trim and my tubing off my bumpers. All I got to do, well, let's get underneath there and I'm going to throw that extra plate on, or I'm going to weld that seam back here. It'll probably break. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I have had guys literally go and come back, and their speaker deck is now over the top of their tank protector.
That's a little fucking blatant.
Yeah. And there's a brand new piece of steel welded behind the tank protector pushed into their package tray. And it's a fresh, they haven't ran yet. So that's the type of stuff. That's the type of stuff I have. I've caught a wagon that shoved a piece of tube, took his body mount out, stuck it through the belly point, and put his body mount bolt back in it to keep it from bellying. Wow. I have seen a lot of stuff. When I was in Missouri, I used to see a lot of axle shafts from the firewall bounce forward.
They're just Mosers. Don't worry about that shit. Don't pay no attention.
But the guys do complain, and last year was a lot of complaint about, well, this is bullshit. Well, last year, every Tom, Dick, and Harry was in that tech building, and that's not happening now. The driver and only the driver.
Pay attention, boys.
Only driver. You will be stopped at the door. Only the driver. If you're not the registered, that's the guy that built my car. Don't matter. He gets out of the car. You're in the car. You.
That was cool out there at King of Ohio because we watched that shit.
That's how that shit happened. The driver and the driver only.
Yep.
Is the one who
I
pulled
watched
up
them run. Running people out.
Yeah, go that way.
Yeah. I got guys now that are operating the door and to be there. I have lineup guys. They're going to verify everybody. You better have your ID with you because they're going to ask. I said, I'm not putting up with it because last year my guys worked from 8 a.m. to noon, and they only had ran 19 cars at that point. Out of 90 we had to do yet. And I asked them what the problem was. They're pit people bothering my tech crew. Well, this guy did that part. Well, that guy did that part. So ask him the question. No, you're the driver. You're responsible for your car. You are the one that I'm going to talk to. Nobody else. And then you have a teammate or a different car, a guy from a different state would walk up and throw a fit about something. And it wasn't even a driver. Again, it was another pitman for that car. Mm-hmm. That caused a lot of chaos. And so like when we're back to the reteching, doing a full tech, the guys were distracting my guys. So some stuff, little shit got missed. Mm-hmm. And then there was stuff that people threw a fit about at retech. Of course, it might have been midnight at that point. Well, why do I cut that off? Because it was not written down. Yeah, I understand. But it states in the rules you can't do this. And what wasn't on my sheet? Well, again, that was either my tech had told our person writing down, but someone was trying to bother that person or trying to talk to that person. So at some point, the drivers got to be responsible for themselves and say, okay, hey, get back. You guys got to get out. I got to make sure my car gets through. I get everything done correctly. Because in the end of the day, if your sheet's got everything it needs, you come back through retech, you're done with a stick, you relax. Mm-hmm. You've already had your blowout or argument or whatever you've done. So now you're de-stressed because you're past. Your car's put in the barn. You're done. Instead of we start a whole new argument and start going out of the barn and coming back again.
Because I'm going to tell you, Cody and I rode around the facility on a golf cart, Cody Pete. Mm-hmm. And we pulled into that tech barn, and holy shit. Dude, there's like 200 fucking people in there.
Yeah, it was stupid.
With 10 techs, but I mean, cars lined up and pit people and registration people and this and that and this and that. There's no way you can keep that shit sane.
Before we go too far into this, I want to go ahead and tell you I told you so. Because on the way up here,
he was just waiting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because that's what he said.
He asked. He's like, I'm going to ask him because he's had some questions asked, and I said I can already tell you the answer. Why they retech's not just of what you had to cut. Why it's a full retech. I said because somebody goes back and runs a piece of cable from the box up to the cage that they didn't have in there.
Which technically is legal now.
Right. But it used to not be.
No.
But
Yeah,
you know
it's exactly right.
I've seen it at county fairs.
They have an edge. You know, if you can get the edge, they're going to take it. But we have to try and keep everyone as fair as possible. I don't care how good a tech crew you have anywhere in the United States. you're not getting everything.
Oh, we've been through this. Had a guy show up that had run one of our other shows. He's like, well, it was like that at the last show. I'm like, well, happy birthday. We missed it on that one. We caught it on this one. Fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
But we have a different system. They ran they tried to put everybody on one car, and it was stepping on each other. We've had our discussions. So I am one head tech. Timmy Lang is one head tech. Timmy Lang has his designated crew he handpicked, and I have mine that I handpicked. Everybody has their own department of the car. All they have to do is memorize that section of rules. They don't have to worry about all the rules. So now everyone has their own section. That person and only that person is going to make the decision on that section. Nobody else. If whoever's doing the back of my car isn't quite 100% on something, they'll come to me. If the person on the back of Timmy Lang's car doesn't, they'll go to Timmy. Timmy would answer to me then if he had a question. But I am not overruling my guys. They're making the same. We've already had a mass text going on between us all. I've told them what questions I've been getting, letting them know how I've been replying, what the answers have been. That was one thing that really killed me last year because everybody called me and I wasn't the guy teching it. That is, in my book, was a no-no for me. But I had faith in my guys and I had stupid shit going on last year. People were cutting fence to get in.
Yeah.
Ripping fence posts off the ground.
Yes.
It was fucking stupid. I mean, the one guy literally took his skid loader and picked up one of our panels and moved it so they could drip in.
And he tells me this, and I said, are you shitting me? He's like, no, dude, I watched it. I watched him trying to do it.
You know how many people I had stomp snow fence in the ground when there was an opening from 4 foot from it?
Yep.
Like, what are you all doing?
Because Dallas County Fairgrounds, dude, I'm going to tell y'all, it's fucking big. There's campsites. There's buildings among buildings among buildings. The facility is killer for the simple fact that it is a racetrack. So you get that hard, fast, big, wide open facility. I think you're going to see the same as you did last year if you watched it, whether it was on DerbyNation.tv where you watched it or you watched it live in person. There's not a bad seat in the house. Plenty of room. Plenty of shit to do. 14 miles right up the road.
Yeah, right in town too. There's a lot of good restaurants, a couple nice taverns, breweries, wineries. There's so much stuff there, and yeah, you're 15, 20 minutes. You're in West Des Moines, Waukee. That's why I moved from Stanton, Nebraska to Adel because last year was my 25th year for R&R. I started Adel. Mm-hmm. That's where I originally started. And everybody's like, why? I said, because I wanted to come back to where I started everything. Secondly is the location for Dallas County grounds, 8035 corridor, and there's so much amenities to do.
Destination derbies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's 30 minutes from my house and not 5 hours. That kind of helped too a little bit.
Which, like Stanton, we went up 2 years ago when you still had it at Stanton. Andrew Haney.
Yep.
I wish he could go with you because what he
works his ass off.
Runs his ass off. Oh, you're coming. You're going to be late. I'll be at the track. I'll be sleeping in my truck. I'll let you in. I'll get you a pass. Do whatever you need to do. But having to drive so far to get a hotel or to get amenities.
There's nothing there in that town.
Correct.
Itself. The facility is great to handle it.
Yeah.
Just we needed more than what that could do. And the Stanton folks realized it and wished us luck and off it went. But now you brought up Andrew. He'll be in Adel.
Yeah, he's running.
Car.
He's running. I talked to him last weekend at Corner.
Did I tell you where the car got where it come from? Right back in my backyard.
I was going to say, I think he said from you.
Yeah, and he got one on me on it because he's like, hey, I need to buy a 10 bolt. We're loading the car. And he wants a 10 bolt rotor in. I told him how much it was. We're loading the car, and I was like, son of a bitch. He goes, what? I said, well, you got one. He goes, what? He goes, I told you the price on this car, and it's got a fresh 10 bolt bolt-in axle underneath it already. He goes, no shit. I said, yeah. So
he's a sneaky bastard.
That was my own fault. I gave him the option. I had a couple of them there, and I just didn't look. And I said, which one do you want? He goes, well, that one's mostly gutted. I'll just take that one. Okay. So he loaded it and was just putting the chain on. I happened to look over and I'm like, oh, what's the price? I said, I told you the price. You got it. It's my own fault. I should have been looking.
So going back on the youth side, how much difference? Because guys are going to ask, is the youth more like a stock build?
Yeah, it's our bone stock class. So like we have that 2-man team bone stock class as well. Exact same set of rules. So when
this rule set. This is my
Yeah,
rule
we're going to
set.
dive into this.
Well, okay, so I call it a bone stock, or stock class is what we call it. But there's so many variations of things out there nowadays, and some of them that I don't really agree with because they're not stock when they keep with some of the stuff. But ours, I think, is a true stock class. No body mounts. You can't touch them. If they're broke off or rusted off, we have a repair rule for that. Just basically to give you an idea, is like a GM or even a Ford got a body mount that's bad, you can repair the floor. If the bolt or whatever is bad, you have to put stock grommets. That means the cones and all, not just the rubbers, all have to be back in factory. We give them a 7/16 bolt with one 7/16 washer and one 7/16 nut on top of the floor. That's it. So some guys are like, well, metric. I said, just drill out the stock hole and run your bolt through it, and then put the washer stuff on. It won't pull out. Some guys are complaining about not being able to do the body mounts. Everybody wants to do more. I said, well, when you do body mounts, then guess what? The body's sitting over on the floor, right? Oh, yeah. Well, and then there's a bare frame, right? Yeah, yeah. Then a guy gets to drinking and thinking. Yep.
No, his buddy does. It's always your friend.
Somebody else's.
I wasn't there when
I bought the car that way. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I bought the car that way.
Well, I wasn't there one day. My buddy was out there working on it. He must have done that.
So without the body mounts, I think it's fine. People were concerned, but you get 2 bound bars and a roll loop connected to the top of the frame.
So that's 6 connections.
Yeah. The center of that car is
You don't
going
have
nowhere.
to worry about that fucking body coming off there.
No. Now, we do give them the 1-inch all thread in the trunk. 2 of those, they have to go through a body mount. They have to have a solid spacer, a 1-inch spacer in between the body. The washer's got to be up inside, and then you get a washer on the floor. We give them a plate on the floor and a 5x5 on top of the trunk lid. And you get your ready rod in the front rear support. That's the only ones you can change. So that's kind of the basics there as far as the body itself goes. The suspension is factory of what come on the car that you're running. There is no swapping. So if it's a wishbone suspension, wishbone suspension. 03 and newer, all 03 and newer. No switching it at all. Ball joints, tie rod ends, drag links, center links, spindles, all that.
This really sounds like a Mopar class.
It's easy. Honestly, a Mopar does really well in these class, but just not too many Mopar guys, and trying to find them is pretty hard anymore. But our bumper brackets are stock to the car and stock location, or you can hard nose. You still can. So like we're looking at the youth car. I squared off the end because this is a Lincoln. It had the one side sticks out a little bit. I just squared it off. You can take and cut the frame off on these cars, but the complete on these Fords and stuff, the complete mount, the whole tab, the complete full tab has to be there. A Metric GM, the whole hole has to be there. Which they're going to cut a 1/4 inch off, maybe. Yeah. The whole hole has to be there.
Sucks.
But you can't relocate the bumper bracket. You can't switch bumper brackets. You can't do any of that. And as we're looking at this one, you can see I've got the shock shoved in. I plug welded it in the slot hole, which we allow, and then weld it to the end of the frame. That you can do all that. You just can't extend it and stick it out the side of the frame and all that crap. No.
It's super close to our filthy rules. I mean, like, real super close.
Yep.
And then we do stock bumpers. Now, that can be what we call bumper swap. It can be a bumper off of any full-size car. They can be fully loaded, which this year seems to be an issue of what people are not understanding. It has to be inside the original skins. That means the front liner and the back liner have to be the same bumper. Not take a front skin, manipulate it, and then take a back skin, manipulate it. Because guys don't want to take these prefab pointies and just take chrome and wrap over them.
Yeah.
No, that's not. You have to put it all back. It has to be in it. I don't care if you weld a mounting plate on the back of the bumper. I don't care if you fill in the vent holes and stuff like that, where you can see that. I have no problem with that. But it has to be all bolted back, welded back, like it would have been factory with everything in it. A couple people have sent me some pictures where they've got a corner that wrapped around, they straightened it. I let them put a flat plate on that. Not a piece of tubing all the way across the back of it. You know, that's same with, if they don't want to run a bumper, like a lot of guys you'll probably see at Border War, back bumpers, we let you have a 6x6 flat tube. It has to be a flat tube. You can use that for a bumper if you want. Rear ends are stock, and again this year, because we have a lot of new ones, they thought we had to have stock original to the car. It has to be a factory rear end, factory axles, factory housing. That means no aftermarket. We do give you a pinion brake for it. We give you a slide and drive shaft for it. There's no body shaping on the car besides the 90-degree tuck or 45-degree tuck. You can't shape the car anywhere. Our cage is the same as our weld cars, the gas tank protector and whatnot. Rims and tires, we don't care. The biggest thing I look for is studded, which you can't believe how many show up with studded tires still.
Where are they finding them?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess
They've all got to be 30 years old.
They got to be. And then wheel weights, balance weights, which usually in the bone stock class, that's where we do see the wheel weights because they're just a stock rim and they're throwing a skid loader tire on or whatever. You would not believe how many people argue about having to take those damn things off.
It takes 2 seconds.
Well, I tell them, I said it depends on what state I'm in. I always just say, hey, in Iowa, that chunk of lead is a slug. I said, what do you mean? I said, if it gets knocked off, that skid loader tire on the back of your car is going to pick it up and throw it at somebody. So, but they're pretty. We don't care about drivetrains as far as what motor. How it don't have to be a Ford motor in a Ford. You know, we let them do the LNR weld-in mounts. You get a front lower cradle. It is stock trainings. You do get an ultra bell. Stock tails, no aftermarket tails. Header protector with one crossbar between. But there is nothing off that front head plate going backwards on that motor. No halo, no carburetor halos, no mid plate. If they run an adapter plate, it can only be an inch taller than the block is for like a BOP training on a back one. They can do that. But I mean, you guys are here. I have 3 cars sitting in here. We started 2 weeks ago. Granted, I own my own business, so that helps me being here. But we've got a pretty good run on 3 cars in 2 full weeks of it. These cars can't, if you work on it, you could strip one out on Monday, which I used to complain about everybody how much money they charge for that. Well, after stripping 3, yeah, I'm going to send them off next time.
Yep.
I don't know when the last time I actually stripped a car was. That Peoria car, I did strip that one.
Yeah.
And I hated every bit of it.
Yeah, but these bone stocks, though, wheels and tires, I don't care what you run. Full centers, weld-in centers. I don't care what tire it is. And people are like, well, why is that? And I said, it's stock suspension you're running it on. So if you want to take...
put a half-inch center on that and let somebody hit it.
Yeah,
I'd rather the wheel bend a little bit.
Same thing with the rears.
Yeah, it's up to you on what you want to run.
Small centers and a stock wheel is where it's at.
Because you, last year, Rob, I was mind blown of the size of the kids that were getting out of some of these cars.
Yeah.
At that time, you were 8 to 15.
8 to 15, yeah.
Last year, there were some kids getting out with their dads. Hell, they was wearing their dad's welding shirt. It looked like a nightgown.
Yeah.
And their jeans and their boots, and just I'm high-fiving and just jumping around. But the amount of people that jump on board anytime that you say, we're doing a youth raffle car.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of it.
Well,
the youth raffle car is the crazy amount that, am I correct in this statement, that the winner keeps this?
No.
Okay.
So every youth driver that comes and runs will get a raffle ticket.
Okay.
Once they are done with their feature, we're going to make sure they all have their tickets, get them out, and this car is going to come out. And we're going to draw. Anybody in that class will get this car to take it home. If they're from far away, we'll make arrangements to get it either delivered or meet them somewhere with it. They do not have to take it then. It can come back and be back in my shop. But when I first started this, people thought I was just going to have a car to give away. I said, no, this is going to be a built car. Oh, you're going to gut it, put a cage in it. No, this is going to get in Derby. Well, then people thought that they could win it to Derby at the Derby. So, no, this is for you to take home. This is going to be built to my set of rules, though. But this is for them to take home and Derby themselves. Mm-hmm. We have had a lot of long discussion. I really want this to keep to a kid. I know it's going to be tough for Dad or whoever to not want the car themselves.
Yeah, because we're looking at a $15,000 car.
Yeah, I mean, there's $15,000 worth of parts here.
Yeah, we guess 15 to 20.
Yeah, it's nuts on that. I'm like, holy cow.
Hell of a lot better setup than I've got.
Word. Well, let's just go down it. Josh Bedenius, he's did rims with 23s.
Yep, which are on the back of the car now.
Yep, Dan Wells, a kick-ass youth custom seat. What's the name on that seat?
Corbeau?
Dudes,
oh, man, it's
Corbeau. Y'all need to check that shit
Yeah, he's
out.
got a mounting plate. He sent us some shims so that if the youth is smaller, you can shim it up. The mounting plate, he has two separate plates with that. So that plate, main plate bolts to the floor. It's got multi-holes in it so they can unbolt the seat, take it out, and the mounting plate stays in. But you can move the seat forward or backwards. It's
badass.
They're so cool. I actually bought one for my son. He gave me a test run. We put an adjuster on it, so my son will get the first one with the adjuster on it, so it's a slide back and forth. But that thing, I sat in it last night when we brought it, and he kept us here way too late, Dan, thanks. I sat in, and I was like, man, these are like, you don't feel like you're like sucked in. It's just enough there to hold, and it's set up for a 5-port harness.
What's cool is they look like a rolly chair seat.
Yes.
But they kind of wrap around the side of you. They're not like a traditional race seat.
It reminds me of my Razor.
Yes, 100%.
But with the harness setup though, that's pretty cool. And they also made us a sky high steering shaft mount too.
Michael Lane, Ford 9-inch, pinion brake and lower front cradle.
Yeah, that guy is a local guy. He also donated a slider drive shaft as well to be given away. That guy's a local guy. I've known him a long time, derbied against him too, and he just messaged me out of the blue when he heard I was doing this and said, hey, I'm kind of slimming down on some stuff, and what do you need? And I kind of get one day he texted me and said, hey, send me a picture. He dropped everything off in front of my shop. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I said, man.
Thank you.
Whenever he's talking a 9-inch, we're 513s, full spool.
Brand new, full spool, got a pinion brake on it, and Michael, it's still your lime green, just like you like it.
Travis Bostock with a 74 Newport bumper and $100 cash towards the Mad Dog.
Yep. That's another driver out of Nebraska. Those two, Josh and him, both stepped forward. That was pretty cool.
Rylan Cardini.
Oh, yeah. He's a Centerville driver.
Pair of new 23s.
Yep. That'll be given away in the regular raffle. So just kind of touch base with that real quick. We have a lot of these items like the slider and the lower cradle, set of tires that it's given. Every youth driver will get a second ticket, and like we did last year. We're trying to raise enough. We don't have enough left yet, but we're trying to raise enough till every youth driver gets something to go home, whether it's this package of hood plates, all thread nuts, stuff like that.
I bet there's some hard-nosed stickers floating around there too.
Well, that and
I did say something. I guess that counts.
We got confirmation from one of our sponsors that the winner of this show will have new set of door wraps for their next show.
Oh, nice.
So Logan Penfield with a 400 yoke, Brady Murphy battery box, and some A to Z pedal and shifters.
Yep. Brand new set of that from
Circle
Andrew.
Z. A kick-ass looking fuel cell.
I just put a picture on that the other day. That's the prettiest tank I've seen in a long time.
State Line Fab hood plates, welding centers. Jake Hansen at Sky High steering shaft is going to have equipment in this thing as well. Jarek Eddy, brand new GHE 400, which we're looking at. If Steven probably
still needs a heartbeat.
You got
still need a heartbeat.
You got to leave that, bro. Postal Mopar.
Yeah, including the other three above it. Leave them there too.
I think I can get one of those in my pocket.
Postal Mopar, GM 10 bolt-on pinion brake setup, Ullman plate prep, door skins, Mike Hill with Hill Job Graphics doing the wrap, Shelby Burton with a front bumper.
And we brought that with us.
Yes, we did. Andrew Shoemaker with a
Clean double bumper.
back bumper.
Back bumper and a set of 14-inch rims.
14-inch rims. Dale Colbert, nicest guy we know.
Yes. Make sure his wife knows
2
that.
radiators. Rylan Fowler for trans cooler and Zach Harris. Cage material. Guys, y'all don't realize when you actually put a real legit cage in there what that shit cost.
And this is 2x6.
This is real deal
Yeah,
shit.
it's good
This,
stuff.
This is legit. I mean, it's good cage.
this
material.
is no
That's-
swing set.
No. Somebody's not going to be mad at their dad for cutting their swing.
I know.
set.
I thought Zach was going to bring me some T-posts. I mean, he's from Missouri, so I thought that's what we were going to get.
That's a thing.
It is really a thing.
There is.
We would love to put like Michael White on this list, but I still don't see a motor here.
We don't have it
No,
yet.
not yet.
JM
no.
Race Engines did build the motor for this raffle
I mean,
car.
Did he? Or is it the illusional? Is it a unicorn?
Well, you see that set of headers that's sitting
He's
up?
going to kick my ass.
Dan Wells was here last night. We had that set of headers up there on that. We had it stuck in the middle. We're both going blah, 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 waiting on something to show up. I would like to shout out, too, is Henry Ware donated that brand new front cradle he had won last year for that motor to be put in here, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that should be a badass cradle, too.
Oh, yeah.
These guys, whoever's going to win this and take it home for their personal ride, yeah, please, Dad, don't steal the kid's shit.
No, and this the motor. I mean, I put a video out there. It's a flat top 355 with a Vortec top end. I can tell you on the pictures I saw, has the roller rockers and all the good shit in it.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's
I
not.
have personally laid eyes on the motor.
Yes.
So it's.
Yep.
I know I'm giving him shit, but he does need to get the damn thing up here.
I'm running out of time. TikTok. This car, unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to make it because it was supposed to be at a car show on this coming Saturday, next Saturday, with border war stuff strapped down the side. It ain't gonna. The car's gonna be there, probably no heartbeat, but it's gonna be there. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this stuff put on. I'd much rather have had the motor and train and everything in it before I put the clip and bumper on it. But at this point, yes, I'm giving him crap still. I've got a commitment because in West Des Moines there's a huge car show, and I contacted them people, so we're going to put our banners down the side of it. And this is to help promote to go, and we're actually going to have talking about the youth car and things like that, and it's to help promote our show to get audience. We're getting to that point now that it's starting to move into that stage.
Well, what the cool thing is,
Well, it's not like you don't have little experience getting people to a show.
Huh?
I mean,
I Googled it the other day.
Oh, okay, there we go. Hey, at least you got your phone out.
Yeah. Alexa, yeah. I called somebody.
what I really appreciate about you guys is that you're taking initiative to do something for the youth, not just this $17,000, $18,000, $20,000 car. It is not letting just the East Coast guys, like I said,
the
nothing against
opportunity.
Frankie.
No.
Something where people don't have to travel 12, 14, 20, 40 hours.
Well, our friends out west,
yes,
that
44 hours.
That was a 3-day track for them to get there.
I drove out there once.
Then 3 days back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you can get something kind of like that with
And
a
even on the
lesser,
lighter build.
lesser build,
Well, it's more of our region. That's what I was looking at. It's of our, because it's, again, nothing against Frankie and them. What they do out there is great, but their build style doesn't fit us here.
Right.
And just like us to the West Coast, we might be closer, but I would applaud someone to start doing something that out there.
yes.
And we could have a 3-section or 4-section across so that you accommodate each area and what the build is like.
And then I see another challenge coming on right there if we could do the 3 sections.
Against each other.
I mean, top 5.
Well, I'm going to have to move to New York so I can figure out what they're doing first.
Because that sounds like, something that should probably go on at Border Wars.
Well, we did qualifiers for this last year. We had, I believe it was 7 of us total, did some qualifiers. Now everyone that qualified decided to come, for whatever reason it might have been. But I've run into a difficulty is age on some of these, because some, like Minnesota, a lot of youth is 13 to 18.
Holy shit.
And I don't feel if you're 16, 17, 18, you're a youth.
No.
Yeah, you're in high school, but you got a lot more testosterone than an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old.
Correct.
I don't believe they should be youth, but I'm not saying that division shouldn't run either. I'm trying to get younger that don't have a potty mouth yet to be nice about it.
At least in front of their parents.
Yeah, right. But
I didn't say shit, Dad.
I am, and we are moving. We are in the process of talking to more. And anybody that listens, if you're a promoter and you put on some derbies, you want to talk to me, get a hold of me. We're looking for trying to make this border war youth thing bigger.
Well, you know,
Not just because of border war.
Around home,
Yeah, so
that's their age limit deal. I mean,
because what you did last year was 8 to 15.
Yep.
This year you were doing 8 to 14.
Yep.
But if you had qualified,
if you qualified
while
last
you're still
year,
under that 14-year-old,
Yep.
then you're still good to go.
Yep. So it'll be like this summer. If you qualify, you run this summer at different shows, you qualify, you'll run next year. Now, even if the promoter doesn't like our set of rules and they have their own, I'm fine with that. But they just have to know that if you take the qualifying spot, you have to build to our set of rules.
Yes.
And come run. I can't guarantee we'll have another car next year, but I am going to try it. I am going to try and do it, and I'm going to work all summer on trying to make this a thing. It'll work for a few years, but after a while, the water will run out because you're not always going to get somebody to build a brand new motor. Yeah. And I'm not ready to give away mine, but my wife sure wants me to get rid of mine. I'm not ready to get rid of mine yet.
I think she's speaking for
about every
a pretty good majority of Derby wives out there.
So, yeah. Well, it's even for her. My wife has been great for over the years. I mean, like I said, this is our 26th. Me running, I used to run a lot, and then I got down to 3, 4, maybe 5 shows, but it was always spring or winter indoor show or something like that. But then having all the shows we do. I mean, at one point when I was helping that Motorhead events guy for a long run there, at one point we did 41 shows in 9 states.
Gross.
And, I was a lot younger, had a lot more hair, and I was like, hey, this is badass. It's pretty cool. And then about halfway into it, I'm like, this is dumb. I'm getting yelled at by people I don't know. I'm getting yelled at this and that. And then you go all over, and then I realized that there's some areas that you go to, no matter what you tell them, they're not going to understand what you're telling them.
Yes.
And
I didn't realize how bad of a person I was until I started promoting derbies.
They tell you, don't they?
100%.
They let you know exactly what you are.
Yes.
You're like, wow. Anybody's promoting, guys, if you even think about it, first thing you got to do is start screaming at yourself every morning in that mirror.
Yep.
And get that skin a little thicker and a little thicker and a little thicker. And then I tell when I talk to some guys like how you do it, I said, you have to go. Well, the mentality is that I don't care what they tell me. I have to make everyone as fair as I can, as possibly as fair as I can. Run the show, take a big breath, and leave the show and leave it there.
Yep.
Go to the
Don't
next
get
one.
on Facebook for a little bit.
Oh, I piss on that. I used to just let them run their mouths. You know what? I'm tired of getting ran over. So now, Rob don't care. I'm going to stand up because if people just keyboard junkies.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Gator don't give a fuck.
I'm like, that's it, man. I'm done. And my guys have told me in the last few years I'm getting a little hot-headed. And I'm like, well, I'm getting to the point where some of these people I feel need to be put in their place. Not against every driver out there, but
Correct.
some of them, man, it's just like
They do the same shit every show they go to.
when their nose touches mine and they're spitting all over me, that's enough.
Yep. Yeah. And it's usually always the same guys.
Yeah, or a group.
Group. Okay.
But anyway, this youth system, though. Sorry, I got off track. This youth system, I really enjoy this class because the kids are so excited that you can see them. They're scared, but yet they get adrenaline, and they're talking to each other. They're hanging out. The social media part. I mean, like there's a young boy that's building also here that ran last year, and he showed me on his Facebook on how many friends he's had from last year through this, and they're talking. And they've got a few of them got a group chat of, I'm going to run up the back of your car.
Oh, yeah, talking
Oh,
shit.
yeah? I'm going to hit you with the back of my car to the front of you. And you do that as adults, it's a fierce battle.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's a fist fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
But
that's really cool.
The rule set that you all went with for the youth stuff is it's enough that you get to build, but it's not so much that, if there's a kid out there that the dad's not necessarily into demolition derby, it's something they can definitely build to and make a competitive car for their kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's not, you don't have to know all the geometry factors of these cars like you see with the adults and the heavier built stuff and pressure and, cradles, DPs and stuff like that. So this rule set is one of my favorite across the board because, yes, you can make some big hits with them. You just can't make all the big hits with them.
No,
Correct.
see, when I sat down to think about this class, I wanted keep the car safe in the middle.
Correct.
That's with our down bars and our cage setup.
100%. I love 6 down tubes. That's my favorite. It's safety.
4 minimum, 6 perfect.
Yes.
And I wanted a car that's going to bend when it hits and gets hit. That way, the person that's sitting in that car doesn't take that abuse.
Right.
Because if the kids are not having fun, if they get jarred hard, I mean, you're still going to you're going to take a pretty good shot in these things. But I feel that the car absorbs part of it now. And I always felt that if a kid was running it and he gets slammed against the steering wheel or slammed against the cage, which still could happen, he's never going to do it. He's going to be scared. He or she is never going to do it. Last year, I think we had 9 or 10 girls, and I think we have that many this year again, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Anthony Briggs from down by Red Oak, West Iowa. His daughter ran last year. I can't think of her name. I seen Facebook pictures the other day. I posted on it. I said, "Is that Border War getting a late start?" He goes, "Yep, that's why she's in the shop." And I said, "That's cool."
Well,
we talked about the 4-point cage deal, the floating cage. I not a fan.
no.
I don't understand why
Especially when
people
you
don't
can't-
do
especially
down
when you
bars.
can't
Well,
touch the fucking body bolts.
I ran one. Remember at
Yeah.
Peoria.
Yeah.
And I took such a hard shot in the back door that it moved my cage. What?
You chipped the whole car
6
over.
inches.
6-8 inches. It can to get it back to where I could run it again. We had 3 porter powers in there trying to get the body to stand back up the way it was supposed to. I wouldn't put my son in that for no amount of money.
No. No, and I just don't understand why some don't do the down bar. I mean, some people are like, "Well, it can't come up with the rule." I said, it's pretty simple. I mean, I came off the body mount in the back seat. Every car's got
Straight
it,
up and down.
and they got to be straight up and down. And you got the door seam in the front. You keep them between that. It isn't going to affect the car.
No, because after you allow 4, they could put 14 of them down through there.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't matter.
it wouldn't make a difference. Yeah,
Not a drop because it's going to do what you want it to do anyway.
right in front of the down bar and right behind the down bar. That's where it's
100%.
going to blow.
And that's what, we've seen this discrepancy with other people with the down tube deal. I'm like, it's cut and dry. The car's not going to bend between the 2 down tubes. Mm-hmm. So if they want to put another one in there or whatever by their leg, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I never once made anybody cut a down tube out that started where it was supposed to and ended where it was supposed
Yep.
to.
I did once.
Well, like last year, we kind of hit on it. Daxon Blake
Yep.
won the show in 24. And we got out to the car, and Jeremy, his dad, was standing there, and that was his Collier in it.
Yep.
And he was seeing the passenger side valve cover getting really, really, really close to the dash bar.
Yeah, that thing was straight up and down.
And he said, well, if he's going to junk it, Jeff will fix it. So he was willing to the point to nose that thing out and burn it down for his boy to win that show.
Yep.
Not all parents have that ability, but the car-wise, it's not stupid retarded hard. It's still a good build, and it's a safe build. But then, if Dad wants to put 500, 600, 700 horse in it, I mean, that's on them.
Yeah, it's a
Because
bone
the
stock.
build is only going to take so much.
Yep.
We've talked about that.
Yep.
But this year, there's another car sitting on the lift.
Yeah.
That's your son.
Yeah, we talked last fall. My son said absolutely not. He didn't want to do it. And I said, okay, that's fine. And then the like I said, the other youngster, Bryant Grubbs, that's building here, started showing my son the other kids on social media. And my son had originally, he gave out trophies last year. And he remembered seeing adults. And that's what stuck in his mind. He had thought that he was driving the car by himself against people like us. And I explained to him that was never going to be the case. I'm never going to put kids out there against guys like us. And he's like, well, that's why I didn't want to do it. Well, about a month ago, he goes, well, I really want, once we got Brian's car started, I want to do it. And I'm like, what? So I talked to him. I said, you first have got to get Mom on board.
And you're asking, I'm not.
No, I did not. Because my wife thought it was me putting up to him. So we put it off for quite a while until, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. We put it off, and he kept bugging me almost every night at supper with Mom sitting there. And she finally looked at me and says, you going to build him a car or what? So you guys can verify this. And if Tommy listens to it, I asked Tommy Stark as one. I talked to Dylan Kunkel as well as two. And I'm going to pick a couple other youth dads there to tech that car. I do not want, my fear was, one, I'm the promoter, my show, but I have a 9-year-old son that wants to try it. I didn't want this label of, well, his son got this and his son got that, if my son should happen to do good. Okay? But I've asked those two gentlemen to look at the car. And Tommy goes, oh, yeah, absolutely, no problem. So Dylan, everybody knows Dylan. He'll tell you what you don't want to hear anyway when you don't want to hear it from him.
Correct.
But he's not afraid to back down, talk. So, but like I said, I'll pick a couple more youth dads when we're there to come tech that car. And then it'll be impounded just like everybody else. The funny part about it is my crew can't wait to tech one of my cars I built. They've already told me they got 5 things to cut. And I said, I ain't gonna have nothing to cut. And the one goes, why? Because you're the boss? I said, no, because I'm going to build to the damn rules. I'm not going to push it. It's
Correct.
my kid. It's a youth car. I want him to go have fun and enjoy it and not have the fiasco of everything.
Yeah.
And so, and I've talked to a few more people about it that are other derby drivers in general, and they thought I had a good plan for it. I didn't want my son to get, discouraged or explain to him why he can't do it. I don't want him to have a mistreatment. I would love to go run with him, take him to another promoter, but I don't know anyone that runs younger kids. And I'm not going to take him to them 18-year-olds to run.
Well, Hobbs and Burden in Madison, Missouri. That's that age group.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Stock build.
Well, you guys have looked at that car. Well, okay, you've looked at both cars, but and yeah, I'm one of them dads that put that thumpity thump in it.
Right.
But would that something like that actually build? We can talk about this once over.
Real close.
Okay.
I mean, it's like real.
Well, we're gonna keep that between us because Dad hopes to run it when he's done with it.
Yeah, and I mean,
So it's been kind of a lot now. We have 3 cars here in my shop trying, and I got over here at 6 o'clock this morning because this floor was a mess from last night.
he sent me a message. He's like, dude, we've been building like crazy. Please excuse my shop.
Yeah, I'm like,
Man.
I was
it's
like,
just shit everywhere.
ain't even got to worry about it.
But it's actually, I'm like, wow, it actually turned out okay. But yeah, so yes, that's my son's gonna do it. It's been a bad part is that I didn't have all this stuff, so I run my stock is I run old iron. I got a lot of old iron, so and I run these new styles, but they're usually weld cars for me. So it's been fun. He came out and he's been having fun working on it, but we started running out of stuff, so he's starting to get a little bored. His now is drawing a paint scheme to paint it, which is cool until I seen his 10 colors and we have to have lines this way and that way, and I'm like, oh boy.
Woo, buddy.
And he keeps pleasantly reminding me that we're only 4 weeks away. And there's no front end on it. And I'm like,
That'll be 2. Dad, we have a week.
yeah, it's yeah.
Well, I mean, you could be like me. My paint's usually sticky on the way to the Derby,
If you paint it.
or I don't.
I have the only time I've ever painted a car because I was required to paint a car.
Yep.
I think non-painted with the burn lines look bad. And no, you guys at Border Wars have to paint your cars. Just so you know.
I don't know that. I think I've only painted 2 cars.
The first one was factory.
Yeah.
Peoria was factory.
Yep. I had to paint the Bristol car.
Bristol car had
'Cause
to
it
be
was
painted because it
two-man.
was a 2-man car.
So we had to match on that, but Yeah, that's it.
And then your compacts were
Hey, we're not
Factory.
talking
Oh, I
about that.
forgot you used to run compacts.
We're not talking about that.
yeah, I bring that shit up all the
I ran
time.
2 compacts. One of them was at your show.
I remember. That's why I was like, oh, yeah, I remember
That was
you
the
running
first derby I
compact.
ever ran it.
Hey, you really make me feel old, aren't you?
So we're still on the border wars. You have more than just youth.
Oh, yeah.
Border wars. One thing that you changed this year. So you were, to my knowledge, the first one that ever did it. So if anybody has never seen this show or know the background of what's going on, is there's X amount of states that sign up, and then inside those states you have X amount of drivers. You would actually get everybody teched in, cars in impound. You would walk up in front of God and everybody and pull 3 drivers out of one state, 3 drivers out of the next state, 3 drivers, 3 drivers, 3 drivers. You didn't give them any time for
Politics.
Yep.
politician bullshit. You went out and you got it on. While they were cleaning the track off,
There we go again.
you would go and do it again.
Yep.
3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. 3 cars coming out of the heat when we were in Stanton. So you are running for your state, you were running for your team, but you were running for yourself, all in one show.
Yeah, so this is basically what I look at this is the border war, the full size, and now we'll get into that, the compact class as well. This was, well, everywhere you go, it's a freaking team derby. Mm-hmm. Even if you go by yourself, you're going to have a team.
Yeah.
So I looked at it as that, how can we get our own selves in our own area to run together? Truly run together. Mm-hmm. So my goal still is to get the average Joe help from the guys that know everything. Because that average Joe could win you some money or win you this thing, the whole derby. Well, that was okay, but some states still have problems of communicating, and some can't let egos go.
Correct.
But it also gives you a chance to run, I call pride. Run for your own state. Represent your state, not represent someone else's. Run and represent your own. So we decided we're going to do border war. Now, I did steal this border war from a guy way back, old Charlie Preen. And if you're, I know like Markley's and them guys would know who I'm talking about. There's some people who have no idea who I'm talking about. Okay guy, then wasn't okay. I'll leave it that way.
His name's been brought up a few times in 150 episodes.
He had a great idea. He just couldn't follow through. So I waited a while and I wanted to do this show. And then I presented to Stanton. I said, hey, because we started in Stanton as a county fair, and we took the county fair and just exploded it out there in a team show. So Border War it's 18 drivers from each state. This year's new. Everyone that qualified for the feature last year got their spot back and was able to make their own team. Okay. Before, it was a live draw on Facebook on who got in for your state. And then I would communicate to everyone saying, make a group chat that here is everyone in its numbers. Reach out and make your own chats. We designate colors for each state. But this year we let the guys select, I'll use Iowa. They had 5. So those 5 guys are captains, and they got to pick 2 others to run with them to make their team of 3. Mm-hmm. Left Iowa 1 group of 3.
Yes.
I had 45 drivers from Iowa that wanted in for 3 spots.
Yep.
So I reached out to them 45 and said, okay, all right, there's too many. I'm not taking any more. I'm just going to do this. You guys, I know each other. You guys know each other. Give me your groups of 3 out of this. So then I had just groups of 3, and we drew. They're all good. Got a good team that got drawn. They're all good that was in. Missouri had too many drivers.
Yes.
And they wanted to know how they could work it because they had too many qualify. I said, honestly, somebody can't be a captain. Someone's either going to have to drop or someone's got to join someone. Well, they got their stuff worked out now. Minnesota didn't have enough. I think they had 4 guys that qualified, I think. 2 came for the feature. But one didn't come, one did. So, but they were able to get drawed and get back in. We got some new guys this year on every state, which is cool. It's nice to see some of the other guys, but I like seeing the new guys come back. The live draw was actually probably 4 years before we started Border War. Was it in Stanton? We did the team show. We did 3 teams. It was 2-man teams, and it was a live draw. The best thing that I can say about the live draw was old Ludington out there in Stanton. Baker, you're killing me. I said, what do you mean? He says, first, my adrenaline's like going batters, but then you make me walk 200 yards from my car, clear up here to draw. I don't get drawed. I got to walk clear back to my car again. And I said, I'm giving you exercise. He says, I don't need no more goddamn exercise. But it was funny seeing that big guy walking back and forth so much. But it was a live draw, and I continued it because it does. You have to try and take or cut down as much politicking as possible. Because even with Border War, being a state, they're still politicking.
Oh, yeah.
And it irks me because it's like, you're here with only 17 other guys. What are you worried about all them other ones?
Yep.
So this year, they got the 3 teams. They're going to be the captain will be drawed. We had to expand to an extra night. We are running on Thursday night this year. The tech on Wednesdays, the main cars. Thursday night will be our Border War heats for the full-size state on state, and then we'll do one bone stock team feature that night. Then we'll come back on Friday night, and we're going to run our compact, which will be 5 heats of those. Or no, sorry, 3 heats. 5, yeah. 3 heats of compacts, then the consi for the big cars. Border War car class. Saturday afternoon, we did add mods, so everybody sees we do full-size mods back. They better not break my freaking wall again. Heavy D. Yeah. Anyway, we got mods, and then we have a compact Border War class. Consi will be Saturday afternoon, and then the other team stock class. And that's at 1 o'clock. And then Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we'll start with this youth class. And my new exciting one is called the T-Bone for Tony Atchison. So I talked to the family, and they said, absolutely. T-Bone Top Dog Mad Dog class. It's a mouthful there. But this is invite only. 27 drivers are registered for it. I take 32, so if anybody feels like it, this is pre-rents too. This is my light weld Border War class build. But they get all their plates, no matter if it's bent or not. One shot go feature. We have top 4 get money, $1,000 heavy hitter. I got another training cooler. We got a metal transformation Pony replica donated to the heavy hitter as well. I'm lapsing. There's a couple other things that go all to the heavy hitter as well.
And this class is just for full send. This is just
their warning is at the driver's meeting, and everyone that I've invited and has accepted are true heavy hitters. We have 7 states represented in that Mad Dog class,
and we know a few of them. And you're right on that statement.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a 3-minute heat, a 10-minute heat. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Better sit down and be paying attention when they come on the track. So it's something I've always wanted to do. That was something I've always wanted to do too. I'm like, we have Mad Dogs everywhere. Mad Dog winners, everywhere. I'm like, why wouldn't we just put all these guys together? And at first, some of them guys were like, oh, I don't know. But I said, you know what? You always bitch about baggers winning. This is not going to be a single bagger in this class.
Shouldn't be.
So if you want to run and find out if you're the top dog, and that's not the winner, it's the Mad Dog guy of that class to be the top dog.
Yep.
You should come run because everyone out there is going to be just like you. So you can't say that worry about a bagger winning. There's some invites still out to some guys that were on the fence. I think they really want to see what this is like. But some people were worried about, small track, muddy track. But you've been there. I was told this was bigger than Blizzard Bash's track. And I can't believe I haven't been to Blizzard Bash since, I got the trophy. I found the trophy the other day, 2010, when I got 3rd down there on Team Camo. A long freaking time ago.
That track is retarded.
It's a big square, all concrete, double layered. You do not get out of it.
And it's not mud.
No.
No, they're Landon Wynn was mocked Jesus speed last year.
His wheels are skipping off the track. The front of the wheels were.
Yes. So, and if they'll do it and if they'll push it, they're going to get. I know you're going to give them the same track.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are race track facility preppers. They know what it takes to make it fast and as smooth as possible. That track didn't have any ruts in it last year. It didn't have any holes. And they were fucking moving, boy.
And we even got rained on us on Friday night.
Yes.
It didn't bother it at all.
Nope.
Just made it faster.
Yep.
That's why I have personal experience on the track running on it myself. And I've ran on it in the rain. It does get a little slimy. But once she stops, it just soaks it right up.
Yep.
And, I mean, we rip it open and re-water it at night and then repack it the next day. Yeah, they asked me how I wanted it, and I said, I want you just like you do. Because it's a figure 8 track. Mm-hmm. So it's the crosshair. We're running the center of it. And it's the way the track facility is set up, everybody's right there on top of you. But the lighting makes you feel, I mean, it kind of, to me, when we pull them on the track, it kind of feels like a Topeka setup because you're coming in. It's not a tunnel, but you come down that aisleway.
Yep.
It feels like a tunnel with all the bright lights. It feels like you're inside.
Yep. And you're
a
kind
lot
of coming
guys-
down from a hole.
Yep.
And you're kind of going up into the facility, and then there's all the people.
Boom. Right
I'm
on top
really
of you.
hoping I get to make it out this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And we have a different setup. So you guys that are listening, I've explained a lot. The fair had 3 acres to the north of our pit area leased. It got sold to a developer. He denied the lease. I found out the week before the Derby. So we had cars like all over. Mm-hmm. This year, I have went and rented the construction fencing. They're 8 foot tall, 20 foot long chain link panels. They're all going to be set up, and we have done basically behind the main grandstand where you were there. It kind of wraps around the backside where we impounded them. We took 3 acres of that parking lot. It's now going to be pit area. So I have doubled what we have last year now.
Cool.
So that'll be all of our overflow stuff for our filler class, stuff like that. So we have no problem with that. I'll have a little better signage this year, so they come in the main gate, not in the campground gate, because there's a couple 3 entrances for there. Mm-hmm. But so the pit area guys will be way bigger, way better. Got our same equipment last year. It worked out really well for loading cars. The drivers that were there last year, you guys were awesome getting your trailers ready. And the guys were setting them down and going. We really hope that the general public and people that are watching are more respectful this year. Cutting the fence, pulling fence posts, repeatedly, not just once or twice, just the whole week. That really took away from our show for us because we're always chasing down stuff, and they don't realize that you're sneaking in, saving you $20 or whatever. But yeah, maybe that's the $20 they want to buy the beer with. I don't know, but it's just like stupid, Well, it's true. I mean, but it was ridiculous. This one section I fixed personally 3 times, and they kept doing it over and over. We fixed it good enough that they finally just pulled the T-post up out of the ground.
People never cease to amaze me.
And I'm like, my God. But the problem is that somebody gets hurt back, especially like in that pit area. We're in trouble financially because
they
shouldn't
sign
have been
any
in
waivers.
it. But the other part is there's no insurance for them because they didn't sign to be in there. And they can try. I had a guy go, oh, well, what if they sue you? They are trespassing.
Yep.
I said, so it's on them now.
Yep.
I said, I've been down the road. That's the experience of having 26 years of doing this. I've pretty much got every T crossed, I dotted. I know what I got to do.
Every scenario has probably happened.
Oh.
Yes.
But the fair went, and that area was bad. It's 8 foot chain link fence, all brand new now, around the whole backside of the pit area. So that should take care of that. We got a lot more light towers this year. Our lighting was pretty good. We got more light towers this year. I have drivers for the border war, both compact and big cars. I have a local business that's going to do a hog roast and feed you at night while you're working on your cars. And I think that's badass.
Because I witnessed, well, I didn't because I went to the fucking hotel. But these dudes are staying up all night long.
Yeah. And that's kind of why we went to that third night. Because now they can go and work on there's no impound this year. After you run your heat, whether you win or lose, you get your card. But on Friday, them full-size cars are going to have a certain time they have to be passed by. And then the winners, the feature guys, will go right into a barn and be impounded. Consi cars will be impounded on the track. So then the Consi guys will get there as soon as the Consi is over with, and they'll have a tech time on Saturday. So if you win your heat, the bonus is that, okay, guess what? I'll get the car fixed. You can stay up all night if you want on Thursday night. We'll tech you first thing in the morning, or you can come tech whenever, or just come back the next morning and work on it. Get you a good night's sleep, could relax a little bit. The nice part is, like, you can always call a friend, hey, buddy, I didn't bring a training. Can you bring me a training in the morning?
Yep.
And get it. To try and make it a little more relaxing. Then the full-size guys, if you've made your feature, you have nothing to do besides sit back, relax, watch the show, or help your Consi guys.
Yep.
Whichever. And that was kind of what I was trying to make it a little more enjoyable for everyone that was coming instead of being so much work. Because, my ass was tired of being up on that golf cart running around at 3 a.m. and have to be up at 6 to open the barn for the next bunch of crew,
Yep.
So that is, but I didn't want to get to that, as you said, a national show. I didn't want to get to that stigmatism of, we're going to tech you on Monday, run on Tuesday, run on Wednesday, run on Thursday, run on Friday. And then you go home, you need 2 weeks just to recover. I don't want that. But the extra night doesn't really hurt us at all. The guys have responded really well. Like, man, that's awesome. I can relax a little bit. I don't sleep so much. Get a chance to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going anymore. I'm not going to go Wednesday. No
Just
way.
don't step on your pee-pee and have to go through the console. Then you ain't got to worry about it.
Right. Well, and even that, with us doing Friday night, last year it was on Saturday at 1.
Yes.
You had a matter of 2 hours, maybe, because at 6 o'clock was cut off to retech.
Yep.
Because just as we were talking about teching, even when you run your car, and see, you get reteched after your consi before you run that feature. Some places, you don't even get looked at after a consi.
Yeah.
Just go in the feature. No, we're going to look because, again, that one car.
Well, that keeps the honest man honest.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
And it keeps it a playing field out there. Better, anyway. And most of the time, there isn't a whole lot to look at those consi cars. There's not much to look at usually after the consi.
Because we did say that we weren't going to hit it, but you had to do a lot of adjusting.
Yeah, you said we weren't going to hit it. That's what I heard.
Nope. You had to do a lot of adjusting from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Some scenarios that were played out.
We'll just put it out there.
Yep.
The scenario with Team Red.
Yep.
And the other team's on Team Red.
Yep.
I'll just come right out and say, for some reason, everybody want Team Red out. Everybody want Team Red out. Bad problem is, Team Red came up with a great plan.
Yes, they did.
And nobody knew how to handle it, and they all wanted to bitch at me about it.
Yep.
And the first thing I told those other teams was, why'd you all go after them in the first heat? If you want Team Red out, you shouldn't have all went after them. You opened the door. They figured a way around it. They said that I had half of the Derby guys yelling and screaming at me because what Team Red was doing. But yet they caused the issue. Team Red didn't cause the issue. They caused the issue. And I said, what right do I have to walk out there and put a stick back on someone's car and tell them they have to continue?
Correct.
I do not have that right. Okay? So, come to this year. I've told everybody, it is a individual derby with a team twist. The only people you can run with are the cars of your color. And some people still have this argument. I told them that at the derbies, we're going to explain this all to everyone and make it completely clear that Rob's going to go back to his old school ways. I will break flags. I will disqualify, and I may take other ones. They are going to run only with their own cars. If I see two states are teaming up on one state, I'm going to stop. Granted, damage is probably done to a little bit extent, but not like it was last year where guys training and block. I mean, the guy's distributor was behind the dash bar.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
CJ.
Yeah. And, it put a sour taste in that guy's mouth. He doesn't want to come back. I get it. But we can't do that. This is not what this show is about. You are going to run with your state. I will disqualify. I'll break flags. I'll disqualify both states. I don't care. It's going to probably piss people off, but this is the way it is. I don't at my county fairs even. I don't let 5 cars destroy 1 car. Mm-hmm. No, there are team derbies. Go run those. This is a county individual show. My twist is what I like about it is that you got to represent just your state. Run with just your guys. Show everyone in the nation that Team Iowa, Team Missouri, Team Minnesota, Team Nebraska, Team Illinois, Team Wisconsin, we are the best.
Yeah.
I don't know how you put all those together to make a team, but we're all the same team,
What's crazy to me is promoters give somebody a product that's fun, new, enjoyable for everybody, and you leave people alone long enough and they will find a way to mess it up, to get it steered away from what it was built as and what everybody agreed to run. Case in point, something like that. Why would
it gave our show it was badass though because of what happened.
Oh, right. It did.
I didn't. Me standing there and watching them flies get did I have a conversation? I had red team conversation at 2 a.m.
Yep.
We had our piece, and the next day, there was a Missouri guy actually. I can't remember who it was. That stood in the drivers' meeting and commenced to telling me it wasn't a driver for Team Missouri. It was someone with a driver that spoke up and said, "Rob, what are you going to do about what happened yesterday?" What do you mean? Well, all these guys are going to load up and go home. He kept saying that. He wouldn't let me speak. I said, I'm done with this. Right now, raise your hand who wants to load. We'll get your shit loaded, and we're going to continue on with the show. Mm-hmm. And not anyone said a word. And I pointed right to that gentleman and said, now, go find your people that want to load. We're done. We're moving on. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today.
Yep.
On we go. It kind of gave us a back eye a little bit on our show, but the internet blew up, and it brought attention we may not have got, whether it was good or bad attention, but it got attention to our show.
What's the saying?
Yep. No such thing as bad publicity.
Bingo. Mm-hmm. Good or bad, it's
still
good.
It did go bad because it kind of hurt this year's show.
Yeah.
But we're still got a quality show. Going to be a great time. People are sitting back that were interested. They want to see what's going to happen, how I'm going to handle it. I've told them, but again, just a lot of these guys are new. They're going to see if I follow through or not. And I don't blame them. I'd want to see it too. But it's going to be a fun one this year. These guys keep telling me that, yeah, we're running. Now, the other thing I like about it is, where can you go and run? Get your ass handed to you in the heat. Have no car left. Can't do nothing. But if one person wins that derby from your state, you get $1,000. Yeah, $1,000. Where do you get paid for junking your shit in 5 or getting junked in 5 minutes, whichever? Because last year was nuts out there.
Yes.
I still get $1,000. I don't know. I mean, and then there's some guys that are telling me I don't pay enough in the derby. I don't pay out this. I don't pay out that. I said the problem is you're not thinking of the $18,000.
Correct. We can take $18,000 away and put that into the purse, but you're pissed.
But that's not what this derby's about.
No,
and I'm not the 25, 50,000, 100,000. That's not, those derbies are not mine. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that. I have a different aspect. They can do theirs. I'm doing mine. And I keep trying to show everybody this is different. I'm trying to get you to go loan that part or help that person get a car. Your car's junk. Hey, I got a training for you. Come on. Or I got steering linkages, or I'll help you get this bent back, because that guy could get you that $1,000 if you're out.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And now we got team compacts. I only got one thing to say. Team Missouri, what the piss? You had the most drivers sign up. I think, I'd have to look again. I think there was only one left on the team that originally got in. They have switched around. Oh, wait, twice. I think Greg's still in there too. They have switched around so many people. And there's some guys that switched and then switched another one. And then it switched another one.
I swear.
On the same person. I'm like,
I swear.
What the heck?
That I cannot believe I'm actually going to sit here and fucking admit this. But I text Rob because a few guys were blowing me up. Hey, man, I think compacts would work at Border Wars. So what did I do? I
Yep.
sent you a text. We kind of talked back and forth. You kind of said, I've already been thinking about it. This is the numbers we have to get to make that system work. So I answered and said, guys, Rob put the post out, and wow, blew up.
It did. It blew up really good to begin with. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do it. Here's my payouts. This is how we're going to do it. Then it was crickets for a little bit. And then we opened up, and we got 5 states. We ended up 5 states full. And some people that wanted in from other states didn't. So I reached back out. Well, don't pay enough. You're not paying enough. I said, what? You're not paying enough. I said, well, what should I pay? We should be $10,000. Well, $10,000 to win a compact derby.
Where the
Who
fuck
does
did that number come from?
Well, then there's a promoter I get along with, but was pretty upset, and I did call him on it. He didn't get picked to be in, and all of a sudden he's putting on a team show in my state, about 2 hours away, the Saturday before now, my event. And I called him. Well, what am I supposed to do? They're going to do it no matter if I did it or not. Why didn't you give me a heads up before this? When you said you knew. So be it. Okay, whatever. But these guys, I found out through compact guys, they want a gut and go bumper swap or 4-pole mods.
Yeah, they don't like any in between.
And I told the guys that were mod drivers, so what, you can't figure out how to drive a compact? Oh, you ain't seen nothing, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, take all the stuff out of it and then show me you can drive it.
Yep.
So, and then, everybody's got their place. But we do have 5 states full. It's going to be a good time. There's a lot of these guys I don't know. There's a couple Iowa guys that know almost at least half a team of each state. And a few of them reached out. Oh, man, these guys are this and that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, what'd you tell them? They ain't going to get away with it. Quit trying it. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, some of them thought we don't know much. I have a compact tech team. And they're compact national builder runners. Mm-hmm. And these people are like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. I've already heard a couple K-frames have been swapped out already again.
You're fixing on finding out.
And I'm like, you don't. So I'll put one name out, Mr. Jake Flater. He's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And he's not afraid to say stuff. He's called me a few times, and I keep telling him, Rob, don't do it because they ain't going to get in with it. And I said, well, you can tell him who's teching. And he told a few of them, and then for some reason, Missouri started switching drivers. I don't know what happened. Missouri? What happened? Well, some of them went to, I think, another show. I can't remember the promoter in Illinois. Popped up, too, the weekend after us, after we had opened. A team show, it's like $12,000 to win, 3-man team show. I can't think of who that is. I think it's Illinois that's doing it.
Top notch.
Yeah. Who is that?
It's Bill Miller.
There you go. Yeah.
And Trevor Petke, but what's the name of Southern Illinois Showdown?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks after Border
Is it 2 weeks?
Yep. It's a 3-man team paying, I think, $12,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So that took some, but some of the compacts say it doesn't pay enough. I think we're $2,500 to win this derby, and they said it's not enough. And I'm like,
but they'll go run a full-blown mod show for $1,000.
Well, that don't make sense either. But I told him, I said, here's the deal. I said, you guys aren't considering that $650. What do you mean? I said, all 9 from your state will get an additional $650. So it's $3,150 you're going to win. Mm-hmm. I said, that's not enough? Well, not for a show like that. I said, for the first year of this show, I think it's fine.
Yep. You got to start. People don't realize you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can't just throw the mountain at somebody and expect.
No, because if it fizzles, it flops, you're not going to try it again.
Correct.
I've been doing this long enough that I know that what numbers need to be where. If I'm close to that number, we're going to do it. If it's not anywhere close, there's no sense of doing that class. Move on. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we got Nebraska, we have Iowa, we have Kansas, Missouri, and Minnesota. Should be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be
Steven's favorite class.
Hey, I think Missouri might have an opening.
Yeah.
They'll probably swap after this.
Not
but
for me.
I won't even. He won't even get in one to just sit at.
I drove a Pacer a long time ago. That was fun. I mean, I'm talking like early 90s. And then I tried a Lumina before they got hot like they are now, early 2000s. And after bouncing myself off the battery and the sidebars, I'm like,
There's not enough room in there.
I'm not doing this. And I'm going to tell you what. People complain about, I hate compact. Get in one, get hit. Them little bastards hit, and you feel everything in that car.
I have never said that they don't hit.
Well, there's a lot of people that
just the
complain
first 7 minutes is awesome.
Yeah, but the
then
last
it's the-
14 or 27 kind of.
They can't get them to run long enough to go through there.
You missed. Yeah, you needed to be at Border last year when we had a two-man team show. Them compacts are flying that track.
They
That
jumped
was
some shit.
Really nice cars that were wadded up like nothing.
Well, they jumped them so fast they didn't have time to go into limp mode. That's how fast
see, I'm
they
okay
jumped
with
their
that.
shit. I'm talking
It was fun.
one corner to
That's
the
fun.
other, wide open, and 45 people, and then just backing out of them and leave that fucker parked in the corner. And then somebody would go do it again to somebody else in the opposite corner.
Yeah.
What do you think about maybe pulling out tailpipe?
Tales from the trailer. We finally started getting a little bit more messages, and we figured, well, what the hell? Let's do it while we're in Iowa.
Since Justin has been on board with us at Hard Nose, we have figured out how much Broadhead Decals means to the sport of demolition derby. His great quality parts are seen from coast to coast and everywhere in between.
But he can do more than just derby products. Your everyday business may need some pep in its step with new banners or stickers. And just give him an idea and let him run with it. Whether it's business related or just want to look badass in the winner circle, let Broadhead Decals work for you.
We do. Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's. All right, here's the tale from the trailer. I found a pristine 95 Camry wagon. Man, we hear a lot of this pristine and Camrys and minivan shit.
Right.
4 hours from the house. So me and the old lady hop in the truck and leave at the ass crack of dawn to go get this car. I text the guy and say we're getting into town. No response. We get into town. He finally sends me his address, and it's another 30 minutes out of town. We start getting closer and the cell phone signal goes blank. So at this point, I already turn on my location for everybody to find my body. We pull into his driveway. The house is built out of old scraps from God knows how many other buildings. We start looking at the car and talking to the guy, and I asked him what he did for work. He told me he was an oddities collector and dealer. I have no idea what the fuck that means, so I asked, and he said he deals with mummified human heads, bodies, and other parts and or pieces of a human body to collectors.
See, sometimes those are questions that you don't want the answer to.
So now I know we're fucked. We get the car loaded up, and he asked me if I wanted to see his rat rods. And of course, with what he just told me he does for work, I said yes. So we go look at his rat rods, never letting him behind me and keeping an eye on the door. All was good. Looked at this cars. Very nice guy, just very odd. Needless to say, might be going back to get a mid-60s Hearst. I've met a lot of people in this world. I have. You as well. I have never met one of those people
Me neither.
who deal with mummified shit.
Me neither.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I found plenty of stuff that's mummified in my derby cars.
Very much so, yes.
My First time I ever went to Texas and got cars, came back, opened the trunk. Yeah, I found out what a real rat looks like. Them fuckers are huge. I'm like, holy cow. I think the best one I ever had, though, my nephew was tripping out a car. I don't remember where his car came from. He goes and still has a spare tire in it, picks the spare tire up, and all of a sudden the spare tire goes over his head and he's stumbling backwards. I'm like, what the hell? Big old mama raccoon was sitting in there waiting for him. You want to talk about a fight to get that raccoon out of that trunk. Holy cow.
No, we would have had a new drain hole in the trunk. Poof, done.
I'm like, holy cow.
Well, sometimes the tales from the trailer we really enjoy because they're funny.
Yes.
But we get some that are kind of more heartwarming, I would say. Just the way this sport builds memories with families and something like that, because...
Yeah, because a lot of people that we've talked to and had on here, we ask them the question, what got you started or this or that? And usually it's a dad, uncle, brother, something like that has got them into the sport. So this is starting to trickle over into some of these messages.
Yeah. Nicholas Morgan sent over one. He said, as a second-generation Derby guy, a lot of fond memories as a child, road hunting for Derby cars in a local area with my dad and my uncle. One time in particular, my uncle asked my father if he could haul the skid loader to his old retired farmer house. Dad said, sure, and as we were driving out this day, place with my father, said, don't say anything about Demolition Derby.
We hear that a lot.
If he does, it's getting restored. I mind you, I was 10 years old, jabber-mouthed child. We get out there, and it is a 59 Mercury Monterey. This thing is sunk into the ground all but on the frame. Flat tires, they are all locked up and stuck in gear. Dad goes to lift the front of this car so we can set the front tires on the trailer. 3 of the biggest coons I have ever seen in my life. These things were as big as my 2-year-old son. We got it loaded and got the hell out of there. It's some of the best memories I had growing up. Can't wait to have these memories with my sons.
And what's cool is he attached the pictures.
Yes, of these said, I think Adam Lemonadger would already had a stiffy if I sent him those pictures.
100%.
Maybe not the 59. He wasn't a fan of the 59 so much, but I think he's maybe set in trial periods. Yeah, it's just cool that, the amount of listeners that we have, people reach out and tell us, like I said, heartfelt stories like that. So, guys, keep sending them. One person that joined the team with Rob last year, he's not here today. He was supposed to be, but he had a diaper keg?
Yeah, a diaper keg for one of his buddies.
So I'm guessing they're just gonna drink beer and
it's an
get
excuse
a bunch
for
of
get drunken.
Yeah.
That's all for. And the wives can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, because they do baby showers.
Yep.
So Cody jumped on board with the sponsorship side of things.
Yeah. So Cody kept bugging me, wanting to help. Not really bugging me. He'd asked a few times about asking. So I had talked to Cody several times, and it went on for a couple months, and then we sat down and just had a chat. And I said, "Well, I got a job, and if you want to come on board with us as a company, then we can do this." And he goes, "What would it be?" And I said, "I think you'd be great for this." He didn't want to. He didn't say it, but he didn't want to.
You could tell facial expressions and stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what do you think? Well, can I have a little bit of time? Sure. Well, I'm thinking, a few days. A month went by. And I said, Cody, what do you think? I guess I'll try it. I said, what are you worried about? He tells me, and I'm like, dude, you like talking to people? I said, you have a personality of talking. You're presentable. You're cordial to people. I said, that's a great quality for what this needs to be. Yeah, but I don't have the connection. I said, you don't have connections since James started. I said, you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
It's just like any job. You have to start a working relationship somehow, and you have to, by starting.
Yep.
And I said, you're going to get a lot of doors that shut. You keep performing. Once you show them the product, what we do, boom. So he did a great job last year, and We had a lot of little sponsors here and there. Got a few major sponsors. And then I said, you know a lot of these vendors. I personally anymore do not follow Demolition Derby unless it's my own shows. Unless somebody's running somewhere, I'll look it up to see what's going on. Because I need personal time away from this stuff. Mm-hmm. And as you guys saw, the deer stands and whatnot, that's kind of me and fishing, But so anyway, Cody was doing that. And I said, if you have any problems, I can reach out. Well, it was crazy that over all the years, I'm like, man, oh, yeah, I know this guy. I know that guy. So I started reaching out to some people and like, oh, yeah, hey, Dale, I remember that, blah, blah, blah. So he was able to do that. And I said, send me their logos and stuff. So I don't know if you guys got to see them, and I know some people did, but we made that highlight reel, and we had all the logos on it. And I social media that everywhere. And we have that coming up, just like this youth car. Everyone that has on that list, either their name, company logo, whatever, is going to be wrapped on this car.
Yep.
So it's going to be fully displayed, plus it's going to be at our show being that way too. But he kept plugging away. And the kid kept apologizing to me. I'm sorry I couldn't get that. I said, dude, you're doing awesome. And he came to the show with his golf cart, and I told him, hey, I need you to set up vendors. I said, at the end of the day, I want them to know how they got treated was respectful, and they'll remember that. No matter if they sell or don't sell. Mm-hmm. If they don't make much money off of it, but, man, them guys treated us really good. They checked on us, got us good setup. They're going to want to come back. They're going to remember that. I don't want to have to chase them down. So he got through it, and I said, how do you feel? Pretty good. All right, you want to do it again? Sure, I can do it. So off he went again this year. And he's back to the same old thing, Cody. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm trying here, and I'm trying. I said, dude, just keep. It's not going to be the same.
Just got to keep plugging.
You got some that said no, some that won't answer us. But this year's a little harder because, as we talked earlier, destinations. It seems like this year, they just come out of the woodwork. And I get people that tell me, well, you shouldn't have your derby because this one's going on. That one's going on. Dude, I was established.
For the last, 5, 6 years, the same weekend every year.
This is our 7th year.
It never changes.
Yep.
It's the last weekend of May, and that's what you told me last year. You could always put it on the schedule because that's when it's happening, and we are not getting away from it.
And my wife's like, why did you do that? Well, I'm a derby driver. Memorial weekend. 3 days off to get the car done. That's exactly why I have it. I said, I have it because of 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
And it's usually easier when you already have Monday off to get that week.
Correct.
For people. And I'm like, that's my plan. Now, this year, we end up with several, I think the same, and one right after us, and one before us. Actually, 2 before us. I think there's a cleanup show in Ottawa. Weekend before, a team show going on. Weekend before, I think Sam's show is the same weekend this year.
Pecatonica is the same
weekend.
weekend.
And I think last year was the weekend either before or after us. Somehow we got on top of each other this year. Gold Rush is the week after us now. It was 2 weeks, but he moved up now. I saw that. Or not Gold Rush, sorry. What's that one out there in the same place? South Dakota.
Black Hills Beatdown.
Yeah, there you go. That one I just saw a month ago. He moved up a week. So I don't know what happened
those
there.
Promoters out there. I mean, because that one's not Sam. That's
no, it's not. It's
I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah. If we weren't talking about it, I'd know. But so that's kind of it is what it is. I mean, I just stay this road, and this is where I'm at. But it's funny when people call and bitch at me about it. I'm like, what the hell? Or what I really get a kick out of people call and bitch about. Why is that county fair? I can't control when county fairs have their shows. I can't control when county fairs have fairs. A lot of these people don't realize that these fairs are predicted by the state fair. Mm-hmm. And they have to be done by so many weeks before the state fair. So, unfortunately, in Midwest, it's the first 3 weeks, or actually, usually it's the second, third, fourth week of July, maybe the first week of August is every county fair. So you have 3,000 derbies in 4 weeks.
Because almost everybody's state fair is in the middle of August.
Yep.
Right before kids go back to school.
Yep. And they think we can just take those shows and move them. I'm like, that doesn't happen.
No, we've hit on that about 14 million times.
Until I'm blue in the face.
Well, the one thing I've learned is, and it's crazy, if you look at my schedule, I have Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays shows. And we were like, well,
during the summers.
20 on Saturday before and 20 the Saturday after. My best shot to get cars is in between them.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw this out. Do a little different show. Knoxville, Iowa, Knoxville Nationals. I am doing a demolition derby inside that racetrack.
What?
Yeah, on a Tuesday night. I went there. It has a tunnel to come in.
It does. Yeah,
And I walked in it and I looked around and went, holy shit, dude, box off. This is going to be cool.
Yep.
They actually do want a big show there. They've learned that the race thing is good for so much, they have to change. So that one, keep watching. You're going to see something come big next year over there. Not Border War, no. Because I already had the guys from Southern Iowa. Hey, Border War? No. Border War is stuck in Adel. That's where it's going to stay. So watch there. Everybody's been asking for another show out of us. That Knoxville, Iowa is probably going to be our next one.
Well, Rob, we appreciate you coming.
Big
Or
time.
appreciate letting us come up.
Yeah. Well, someone's still got some beer to drink.
Oh, man, I've got like 30 hours at home this weekend, so I figured I better be productive when I get home.
Well, hey, can I show you something? That blue thing over there? Do you notice the doors aren't welded, the trunk's not welded, that blue thing? I think I know I got a big enough helmet for you. You guys are stuck here now.
No, man.
This has been cool. We got to come up here and check your setup out.
I appreciate you guys coming. Made me clean my shop.
Border Wars 2025.
Yeah.
The last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of May. Adel, Iowa.
Yes, 29th through the 31st.
Ooh,
Twice
buddy.
on Saturday. I will throw out one last thing real quick is May 9th, I think it is, if that's the Friday. On our website, rnrpromotions.com, we'll have ticket information up and pre-sale tickets. We'll have a link for everything. So we're trying to cut down that wait line
a little bit.
Yep.
Well, and as soon as that drops, we'll share that link so you can get it. We'll have it where you can click on it from our page too.
Do I need to make a doctor's note for you right now?
Yeah.
As long as y'all pay attention.
Well, hey, thanks for coming up here. I'm glad you guys got up, drove up. That was pretty cool. But I want to say something, though. You need to learn how to text me or call me instead of this damn social media, Facebook Messenger me. I don't hardly ever watch that.
You sent that to me, so once
Well,
you
as
send
soon
it
as
to
I
me,
sent it later, you text me, but I guess it didn't happen.
once you send it to me, I just
It
kind of go
started.
off of it. So if you can't be at Border Wars 2025, DerbyNation.tv, all up in it.
Oh, yeah.
Single or multi-day packages.
Yep.
They have you covered. We're going to see if I can get somebody
I'm gonna
to
try.
come back up to Iowa. It's only 4 hours. It's not bad.
I'm not worried about the drive. It's just getting off work.
Nazis.
Yes.
Well, Rob, we appreciate you.
Well, thanks for coming up and giving us some time. And it's kind of cool to see ex-drivers talking about my show. That's kind of cool.
Well, homie, got any last words?
Nope.
Make junk, boys. DerbyNation.tv is your one-stop shop for your Demolition Derby pay-per-view needs. With a schedule like no other, you can catch all the shows you want to watch at the touch of a button from the comfort of your living room without leaving your house. But pay-per-view derbies aren't the only thing that they can get you. You can also carry a monthly subscription to watch the ever-growing Derby Builds, where you get all the behind-the-scenes action on different build processes with the Derby Builds team, including team show cars and even some national level youth builds.
And if you can't make it to that big show in person, go ahead, host that shop watch party, and let DerbyNation.tv bring excitement of Demolition Derby action straight to your shop live on your TV.